Hi. My name is Ava. I want to tell you something personal. This is a story about trust. About love. And about how it feels when someone you love hides something from you. I met my husband, Jason, when I was 24. He was funny, smart, and full of energy. We met at a friend's party. He made everyone laugh. But with me, he was gentle. We talked all night. He walked me home. We shared numbers. After that, we were always together. 1 year later, we got married. It was simple and beautiful. I wore a white dress. He wore a navy blue suit. He held my hand the whole day. I thought, this is forever. We moved into a small apartment. We didn't have much, but we had love. He brought me flowers. I cooked his favorite meals. We watched movies every Friday night. We laughed a lot. I felt lucky. I thought we were building something strong. Something that could last forever. We talked about having kids. We dreamed about traveling. We even made a list of countries to visit: Italy, Japan, Morocco. I saved that list in my journal. But then something changed. Jason started coming home late. He said he was working extra hours. Sometimes he looked tired. Other times, distracted. He smiled less. He checked his phone a lot. He even took it to the bathroom. That was new. He stopped asking me how my day was. He forgot small things, like our movie nights or what kind of tea I liked. I felt like I was living with a stranger. One night, he didn't come home until 1 a.m. He said there was a problem at work. I believed him, until the next morning when I saw a lipstick stain on his shirt. It wasn't mine. That's when I started watching. I noticed the way he locked his phone. The way he smiled when reading certain messages. The way he quickly closed tabs on his laptop when I walked by. One afternoon, while he was taking a shower, his phone vibrated. A message lit up the screen, thinking of last night. Miss you already. L. My heart dropped. I knew who L was. Lily. His ex-girlfriend. The one he said he hadn't spoken to in years. I didn't confront him that night. I needed proof. So I waited until he left for work. I opened his old laptop. His email was still logged in. There I found months of messages, dates, hotel reservations, even photos. They were seeing each other. Often. While I was at home, folding his shirts, planning our future. I wanted to scream. I wanted to break everything in sight. But I didn't. I just sat there, reading each message, like I was reading a story where the main character was me, but she didn't know the ending yet. I even saw a message from him saying, "Don't worry. She knows nothing. She trusts me too much." That message hurt more than anything else. He was not just cheating. He was proud of hiding it. The next day, I started packing a small bag. Not to leave. Not yet. But to remind myself that I had choices. I started writing in a journal every night. Not just about the betrayal, but about my feelings. My fears. My confusion. My silence. I also started noticing things in myself. I didn't laugh the same way anymore. I didn't sleep well. I lost interest in music, in painting, even in food. My friends said I looked tired all the time. They didn't know the truth. For 2 weeks, I pretended everything was fine. I cooked dinner. I asked about his day. I smiled. I even kissed him goodnight. But inside, I was planning. One Sunday morning, I woke up early. I made coffee. I sat at the table. When Jason came in, I asked him to sit. I put the printed emails on the table. He went pale. He didn't speak for a long time. Then finally, he said, "I didn't mean to hurt you." I asked, "Do you love her?" He said, "No. I just didn't know what I was doing." I asked, "Do you love me?" He looked at me. He said nothing. I left. I went to my sister's place. She welcomed me with open arms. She let me cry. She let me be quiet. She cooked soup and held my hand. Days turned into weeks. I started walking every morning. I listened to music again. I started painting, something I hadn't done since college. I also went to therapy. At first, I was afraid. But the therapist, Maya, was kind. She helped me see that what happened wasn't my fault. Jason called. He wrote letters. He begged. But I didn't go back. Instead, I focused on myself. I started working part-time at a library. I joined a women's support group. I made new friends. I even took a short trip to the mountains alone. Up there, in the quiet of nature, I sat by a river and cried. Then I laughed. Then I cried again. But I felt free. I began to rediscover myself. I bought a bicycle. I learned how to bake. I adopted a cat named Willow. I started teaching art classes to children on Saturdays. One day, I looked at myself in the mirror and said, "Ava, you're not broken. You're blooming." Months passed. I moved into a small apartment. I filled it with plants and books and soft blankets. I lit candles at night. I danced in the kitchen. Alone. Happy. I wrote poems. I wrote letters to my past self. I said things like, "You are strong. You deserve love that doesn't hide. You are enough." One evening, I hosted a small party for my new friends. We cooked together. We laughed. We shared stories. No one knew what I had gone through unless I chose to tell them. That night, I felt something I hadn't felt in a long time, peace. One day, I started a blog. I called it Strong Ava. I shared my story. Women from around the world wrote to me. They said, "Thank you." They said, "Me too." I started giving talks at schools and libraries. I told young girls, always listen to your heart. And never be afraid to walk away from someone who doesn't see your worth. I met a woman named Clara. She was also healing. We became best friends. We traveled together. We tried new things, like pottery, hiking, and cooking classes. We even started a podcast together. We called it The Honest Heart. Each week, we shared real stories from real women. It became a small community of strength. 2 years later, I met someone. His name was Ben. He was quiet, kind, and honest. He didn't try to impress me. He just showed up. Every day. He listened. He remembered the little things. He asked me about my past and didn't judge. We started slow. We had picnics in the park. We watched sunsets. We wrote letters to each other, even though we lived in the same city. He said, "You don't have to forget your past. I will walk beside you through it." Now, we live in a cozy house with a dog named Lucky. We read books aloud. We plant flowers. We cook meals together. Sometimes, I still think about Jason. Not with hate. but with a soft sadness. Because from that pain, I grew. My name is Ava. I was betrayed. I was broken. I was lost. But I found myself again. And now, I live fully. I love gently. And I never forget how far I've come. This is my story. And it's still being written.